What is up, everybody? So today I'm going to be showing you how to make a simple game using Construct 3. First things first, you're going to type in editor.construct.net. After you type that in, press enter, and then it'll be a little thing actually. And once you get to this screen, we can start it. First things first, it's going to say welcome to Construct. You can read this if you want and take the guided tour, but this is basically a tour right here in our thing. So we're gonna press new. Our project name, we can name it whatever we want. Ours is gonna be a simple side scroller. Alright, so once you have your thing ready, you can choose from here from how big your thing is. We're going to be making a landscape game, so we want to choose 4K landscape. Do not change any of the viewport size orientations. Make sure that is landscape. And we're going to start with an event sheet. If it is on script, then you're going to use JavaScript. We're not using pixel art, so we're not going to optimize it for pixel art. So now we're going to continue. Hold down Control and scroll down with your mouse wheel to zoom out and scroll in to zoom in. Right now, we just want to be able to see this little box right here that we have with our lines. Now, first things first, we're going to make a side scroller. So we're going to want to create a character. We're gonna double click with your mouse, and then this thing will pop up. We're going to find Sprite. You can also search up here for Sprite. And Sprite should come up. Double click Sprite, and then click where you want to place your Sprite. Or no, just click. Then, you can make your Sprite here. This is the erase tool. This is the pencil tool. This is the pen tool. And this is the square tool. You drag to draw the square. This is the circle tool. And this is the fill tool. This is the color grabber tool. And that is what all of our tools do. So we're just making a simple side scroller game here, and we just need a regular character. So we're just going to grab the paintbrush tool, and you can paint whatever you want. That's basically the basics. I'm going to make a little guy here, and then we'll do all the animations later. So if you don't want to do animations, just make him kind of like on a skateboard. My character is going to be on a skateboard, so I want him to be on a skateboard. And you would probably want yours to be on a skateboard unless you want to actually go through a step-by-step process in somebody else's video to learn how to make animations with Construct. But my guy is going to be on a skateboard here. So he's just going to be rolling. Okay, we can press X now. Now this little blue box will pop up. Click to make it go away. Then if you want it to pop up, click here. In this case, we want to keep the blue box on, because that's how we scale him and everything. And yeah. Press Ctrl Z to undo the last thing you did. You can scale him from all these directions, as you can see what my mouse is doing currently. You can also rotating him by kind of getting close to like this guy and just rotate him around. But we want our guy to be on the ground over here, so we're going to put him on the ground. Also, make sure when you are in the editor, to go back to this editor, double click your guy, and then press this little thing up here, and then it'll auto crop it for you, which I think is extremely helpful when I'm making games in Construct. Second thing second, you want to make sure you're clicking this guy and the blue squares on. There's a bunch of stuff here, just make sure you see behaviors here. If you do not, make sure that it is expanded and you can see add/edit behaviors. Click on the behaviors button, add new behavior, and our behavior is going to be platform. So now as you can see, our guy just falls out of the map because he has gravity. So if we want to put a platform down, we're going to double click and we are going to add another sprite. Now this time you get to paint what you want the platform he wants to be on. In this case, I am making a all-white game, a black and white game. So I'm just going to have like a black and white road that he's going to be going down. I'm using the line tool to draw a line for his road, and I do want it to be lined up perfectly, so let me just do that. Okay, and now we have our thing done. Also, we are in free edition, so we're only going to be limited down to 25 events. 25 or 26 events. And then now we have a little road here though. So I want my road to be like about that size. Then I'm just going to move them out of the way for the road. And I want the road to go all the way to the end of this gray square here. Now I can put this guy back on his little road. But before we actually start up the game using this play button here, we do want to save the project. So it'll ask you to pop up this thing and it'll say select a service. Dropbox, you have some sort of plan. OneDrive, that's Microsoft OneDrive. Google Drive, that is Google Drive. I'm using Google Drive since my Dropbox plan ran out. So simple side scroller. Sorry. We are going to want to click on this thing and we're going to do the same thing. Go to your platform's behaviors, add new, solid. Now, if you want the camera to follow this guy here, we're going to go to behaviors, add new behavior, and it is going to be scroll to. Now, you might be wondering, how do I change the background here? Click on layer 0 and background color. I'm making a black and white game, so I'm going to do that. But now, my guy isn't blending in. So, I'm going to change it just a teensy-weensy bit. And now I can see everything. And now watch this. He's rolling, he's rolling. Oh yeah, he can also jump. If you want to disable that, I'll show you in a bit. So, if you want to disable jumping, editor, edit this out. So if you want to disable jumping, we're going to click on our guy here, and then we're going to change the gravity, or actually no, jump strength. If we don't want him to jump, change it to 0. And if you accidentally changed it to 0, press Control and then Z to undo. But I want it to be 0. I don't want the skateboarder to jump at all on this skateboard. Now if you press the up arrow key, he won't jump. Also, you move around with the arrow keys on your keyboard. Also, I do want him to be able to jump, just not that high. So his jump strength is his jump strength here. That's the max speed, acceleration, deceleration, jump strength, gravity, max fall speed, double jump is not allowed. Jump sustain, default controls, and we also want it to be enabled. And default controls also be enabled. Jump strength, we're going to change that. I like it to be 16. So he's not going to be jumping extremely high. He's just going to be jumping some sort of amount. That amount is not high. Okay, well I want him to be able to jump at least a little high. So I'm going to do 116. Let's see how that turns out. There we go. He jumps a little bit now. Okay. You also might be wondering, sorry, camera or microphone. You might be wondering why this bottom part is showing up here and how to make it stop showing up. In order to do that, we actually can't do that unless you disable scroll to. But then if we disable scroll to, watch this. He only has a limited amount of range, which is on the screen. So if we get to the end of the screen, which we're almost at the end of the screen, here we go, the camera won't follow him at all. Which we want the camera to be able to follow him. So we want scroll to enabled. And to make this thing disappear here, we can do an FOV thing with all the FOV behaviors, but it can't really do that either. So all I like to do is just add a cool little background thing where I'm just going to Control C, Control V, add another road here, Control C, Control V. But if you don't want to add a bunch of roads and you just want it to be white, we can add another sprite here, be the white color that we had earlier, and then just make the box and then just drag to make a big box. Now we have a big white box. And I want that to be throughout my entire thing, so just drag to the end of this corner here Save the project, continue. So now, as you can see, he's on the ground, and watch this, he won't go off your screen here. So if he's not going off the screen. But you can't really see that. It looks like he's trapped in the middle of the screen. So I'm actually, see this white background here? We're gonna create a new thing. This time we're gonna scroll until we see tiled background. In our tiled background, I want it to be like this color. I'm gonna fill it, and then bam. Because as you can see, when you use the fill tool, it doesn't fill the entire thing. It leaves some dots behind, which I do like. And then we're gonna make it big. But oh no, it's covering our character. So what do you think we do? We're gonna actually right click it. Z order, send to bottom layer. Oh, because it's the same. Oh, oops. Don't do anything of what I just did. Do not copy me. Continue on what you're doing. It would have worked for you. It just didn't work for me because Construct bugged out. So don't copy me. Just continue on what you're doing. Is this the same color as him? It is. But it shouldn't be because my color... There we go. Now it should stand out. Yeah, okay. And then I just want it to be like this, guys. And there we go. Okay. So that's what... it may look a bit stretched out. Oh, no, it shouldn't look stretched out for you because I wasn't using a tiled background. I was using a sprite. Alright, bam. Alright, so once you have your tile background going, which for me, I actually want my tile background to be black. So I'm just going to go ahead, double click that, change the color to black. Now, it will leave behind a bit more things, which is okay. If you want a bit more things, you can leave behind those things, or go back a couple seconds and re-watch the part where I created the tile background. Okay, right click, Z order, send to bottom layer. Okay, so now our skateboard game should work here. And you can actually see him traveling when he gets about to the perfect middle of the screen. You can see, the camera's following him, which is pretty cool, and then he can go the other way. Now, he doesn't actually look in the different directions. So I'm going to right-click our guy, and I'm going to delete his eyes. I know that might sound weird, but trust me, it'll make sense. And I'm going to want him to look in a specific direction. That specific direction being the direction we want him to be facing. So I'm going to use this tool down here to copy the color of that. And then we're going to use this tool again. And then we're just going to make it the size we want. That is big eyes there. Okay. Now it kind of looks like he's looking in this direction, towards my mouse. Which is good. We want him to look in that direction. So when we drive, he looks in that direction. Also, if you didn't catch it earlier, to start up the project, we're going to click this play button right here. Also, if you want to try different versions, you can preview the layout, which is what we're currently doing. Debug the layout, preview project, debug project, remote preview. We're going to actually use this one in the future, I think. So first things first, we're actually going to go to event sheet 1. Add an event. And actually, don't do that. We're going to actually double click here. We're going to scroll down until we see keyboard. Double click that to add it to our project. And then we're going to add keyboard. Key is down. It is going to be, it'll say press a key. We're going to do our right arrow key. Press OK. Done. Then add action sprite. We're going to go down there. Set mirrored and then not mirrored. So now we're going to duplicate that again. And to edit our events in our event sheet 1 up here, Also, if you don't see the event sheet 1 or you accidentally X out something, you can find it over here in our side area. And we can see event sheet 1 and layout 1. Also, you have 23 events remaining. And if you want that to go away, you can actually register an account and actually pay for construct, which I have an account that I pay for. Alright, we're going to actually go over here, make sure that says mirrored, and then arrow key is left arrow, and then it'll set it to mirrored. So now, if we play the game, he looks this way, he looks the other way. So now he changes directions, which is pretty cool. Now, if you want to add little things for him to get, I am going to actually change his jump strength to 670, which should be about like a normal height jump. Yeah, that's pretty good. And I'm going to add double jumping on. So 670 with double jump on. So now watch this. He double jumps. And we're going to actually add some obstacles to our project. We're going to go to sprite. And I want my obstacle to actually be a cool white color. So we're going to go down here to the gray area. And I want it to be like a grayish, whitish. Yeah, like that. And then I'm just going to add a caution sign to it. And then exclamation mark. Which our game is actually mainly white, not fully white. Okay. Now we have an obstacle sprite. I'm just going to zoom in here so you guys can see it. I want mine to be about this size actually. And this is where I want it to be. So there, behaviors, add new behavior, solid, and remember, we click this guy to add the solid behavior. So now, I can't get past it. I have to jump. Which I can double jump to. Now, if he hits the obstacle, I'm going to do something cool. We are going to event sheet 1, add event, sprite 5, on collision with another object. The object is going to be our sprite. If you didn't catch what I just did right there, I'll do it again. We're going to double click sprite 5. Double clicked is on collision with another object. Double click that object. You're going to pop up. It's going to pop up this menu. We're going to double click sprite and then click done. You can rewatch that a couple times if you did not understand it. Next thing, we're going to add a thing in sprite. So double click sprite, and we are going to add something where you deaccelerate. So set or simulate control of going right. And then add an action. We're going to click on our object here, and we're going to scroll and double click destroy. So now, if he hits the object, he stops for a moment. But I don't want him to just stop for a moment. We're going to duplicate that a bunch. Okay, well, he still stops for a moment because I'm still pressing left. So, there we go. Okay. We're going to actually simulate pressing right. Now, if you want to do a little over to make him actually, stay there for a bit, you can do that in the here sprite, and then you have all this stuff that you can edit or do. But be sure you kind of know Construct if you want to do that. So right now he'll just stop for a moment if he touches that, which is pretty cool. Now we can actually place these things around the map. I press Control C and then Control V, so I copy it and then paste it. Now, around our map, we have a bunch of obstacles he has to get past. Now he's at least going to have to touch them. So, bam, he gets past the obstacles. Cool. I don't want a lot of obstacles. I want like a couple at least, because I don't want a lot of obstacles. Because if you have a lot of obstacles, then it might make the game a lot more challenging. Unless you want the game challenging. If you want the game challenging, you can add as many obstacles as you want. Now, he doesn't actually move a lot fast, which I like. But if you want to change that, you can go down into the platform thing and then change all of this stuff. Now, we're going to make a win condition. We're going to double click sprite, and if you want the win condition to be invisible, don't add anything. Now we have our win condition over here. And it doesn't actually make you win yet, so we have to add an event. We're going to do sprite on collision with another object. That object is going to be a sprite 6. Now, if you want to name your things, you can come over here, right-click them, and rename, which I'm not renaming any of my things because I don't really like to. I feel like it takes up time and I don't really need it. But if you want to rename your things, you can go ahead and do that. Now, we have our little block over here, our little invisible block. We're going to double-click. If you want it to be a browser notification, you can do that, which is what we're going to be doing. Browser, we're going to double-click that. Add action. Browser, and we're going to do alert. Now you're going to type your message inside of these parentheses right here. So just go inside of the two parentheses and type whatever you want to be alerted when he wins. I want it to say he wins, so I'm just going to say win. So now, if he makes it to the end, it will say win. So there will be a long journey. You can add more and more stuff if you want to add more and more stuff. But we're just trying to get to the end here and see if the win condition works. And it'll pop up a little browser notification. If you're on Windows, it'll say that. If you're using like Chrome or Brave, it'll say like a little notification up here. But if you're using like a tablet, it might say something else up here. Or if you're using like Linux, if you're using different browsers, it'll say different things, but it'll say win somehow. And now it says preview.construct.net says win. But now our guy just falls off the map. So we're going to actually add sprite. After that, we're going to say, okay, I know. We're going to say set enabled. We're going to change that to disabled, but make sure that's up here. It'll alert win, but that will be disabled. So now, add action. We're going to go back to this, and we're going to set enabled and make sure it is enabled. So now, it'll set it disabled, and once they click OK on the alert, it'll set it back to enabled so they can move. So, when we make it to the end here, it'll do the notification that we told it to do. And if it does the notification we told it to do correctly, then it'll do the right things. But if it doesn't do it correctly, then it won't do the right things. But so far, it should do the correct things on our browser because we're doing the right thing. So here we go. Now it actually stops our character, and we can't use the arrow keys because it's disabled. And once we click OK, we can use the arrow keys again. But if you touch it again, it'll say win. And now, if you want to be able to not touch it, we will add another action. And then double click sprite 6, which is our thing. And then we're gonna type or search for destroy here. Now it'll alert Win and then do all that stuff. And then once we make it to the end, this is what it will do. It will alert Win, or no, it'll set the moving to none, and then it'll alert you Win. And then once you press OK or continue, then it'll say it'll let you move again, and then it'll destroy, so you don't actually press Win again. So here we go. What? Okay, if it doesn't work the second time, then there's something wrong with our code that we need to fix. Which we can fix that. It's not actually that hard. So if we get to the end here, it should work. I don't know for sure. No, it actually doesn't stop. That is crazy. So to fix it, we're going to go to System, and then we're going to do a wait command. Type in WA up here in the search, double click wait, and then we're going to type in 0.1. That is the shortest time you can wait, and then just put it in between set platform disabled and alert Win. So it'll wait a second so it actually knows what's happening, and then it'll actually alert. Wow, I can't believe I dodged that one right there. That has never happened. Okay, and then after we do this, we can actually play the game, and if you want to add audio, you can do that with our audio files, with the other files. Huh. Wait, what? Okay, we're gonna actually do something different. So since it keeps doing that, we're just gonna press Control V, or no, none of that stuff. We're gonna go over here, drag this out here, and we're gonna rotate it this direction. And then put it there as our wall. So it'll actually block him from falling. We're gonna Control C, Control V, and then put it over here so he actually can't get past our sides. Look at that, bam. So now, if we get to the end, we don't actually need to stop him. We just need to, he'll just hit the wall and not move. So it should actually hit the wall and not move, which is what we expect it to do, but sometimes it can glitch out and just, can move through that. Which is not. It says Win, and it freezes. And then you can continue playing the game, and it's not actually there, and you won't press Win anymore. Now, if you enjoyed the tutorial, guys, make sure to like and subscribe. Goodbye. Also, even this guy's telling you to like and subscribe. Bye.